So welcome back to Where Do I Start? My name is Jim Schultz, and we are moving right along now. Here we are in episode number 7, and this is one of my all-time favorite topics because this term, moneyness, no one on the Tasty Network knew what this term meant. No one on the Tasty in the Tasty world had any idea what this term was until I showed up in late 2015, early 2016, and I brought moneyness into everyone's world because we use this or used this in academia all the time. And it's a very, very simple way to understand what is the status of the option right now. Like, what is the official status of this option right here and right now? And now that we've learned about option pricing, we've learned about contract specifics, we kind of understand how to make money with options. It is now time to take a look at moneyness. And so that is the objective here in episode number 7. Okay, so picking up right where we left off with option pricing, which was the previous episode, episode number 6. The best way to understand moneyness, the best way to really grab onto this idea, this concept, is to view this from the vantage point of the long side of the contract. So much like we did with understanding call options and put options and intrinsic value and the immediate worth of the option, do the same thing here. It will make your learning of this concept and this idea much, much, much easier. And so generally speaking, when it comes to moneyness, if the option has immediate value to the long side, then that option is going to be in the money. So that's all you need to know. Does the option, call or put, it doesn't matter. Does it have immediate value to the long side? If the answer is yes, then that option is going to be in the money. Okay, what if the answer is no? So if the answer is no, then the option is going to be out of the money. So when it comes to looking at the immediate value and the immediate worth of the option right here, right now, call or put, again, it does not matter. It's all about the worth and the value to the long side right now. If the long side had this option in their possession right now, would it give them an immediate benefit over not having that option? That's all you need to answer. And coming off of episode number 6, that idea has a specific term that we just learned. Of course, that is going to be intrinsic value. And we'll talk about that here in just a couple of seconds. But then sometimes there'll be a very unique situation where the option is not exactly in the money and the option is not exactly out of the money. It's actually right on the razor's edge between the two. It's actually right sitting there in that very odd space right before it has value or doesn't have value. That's going to be a scenario that we would refer to as at the money. So in the money, out of the money, and at the money, those are the only 3 statuses that an option could have when it comes to its moneyness. Okay, so now looking at call options specifically, we piggyback off of what we just learned a couple of seconds ago and also what we learned in episode number 6. If a call option has intrinsic value, right, that means it has immediate worth to the long side of the contract, then that call option would be in the money. If it does not have intrinsic value, then that call option is going to be out of the money or at the money. So more specifically, now that we're just focusing on call options, this is going to be a scenario where the stock price is greater than the strike price. So the stock price is 100 and the strike price is 80, or the stock price is 50 and the strike price is 40. In either one of those scenarios, that has immediate benefit to the long side of the contract. Right? If the stock price is 100 and the strike price is 80, then that means the call owner, the long side of the call option, can buy the stock for 80. It's actually worth 100. If the stock price is 50 and the strike price is 40, then the call owner, the long side of the call contract, can buy the stock at 40 when it's actually worth 50. Both of those scenarios have intrinsic value, so they would be in the money. If the stock price is less than the strike price, so again, stock is 70, strike is 100, stock is 20, strike is 30, and so on and so forth, the intrinsic value here is going to be 0. If the intrinsic value of the option is 0, then the option is out of the money if the stock is less than the strike. Okay, but what about those unique special circumstances where the stock and the strike are the same? If they're right on top of each other, just overlapped perfectly, which usually doesn't, last for more than, a millisecond or two, that would be an at the money scenario. So this is a situation where the stock is 80 and the strike is 80. The stock is 60 and the strike is 60. That's going to be an at the money situation. So it's right on that razor's edge between being in the money or out of the money, having value to the long side or not having value to the long side. And then with put options, it's the same basic idea. It's just all flipped around and all kind of backwards in a way. And so in this case, a put option that has intrinsic value is going to be in the money. A put option that doesn't have intrinsic value is going to be out of the money. And so now remember, the put option gives the long side, the long put, the right to sell stock at the strike price. So they want the stock to be below the strike price. So if the stock is below the strike price, the option has intrinsic value, so it would be in the money. So this would be a scenario where the stock is 50 and the strike is 100. If the stock is 50 and the strike is 100 and you own that put, you're the long put holder, that's a great scenario for you because you can sell it for 100 when it's only worth 50. Or maybe the stock is selling at 20 and the strike is 35. Like once again, you can actually sell something for 35 that's only worth 20. That's going to have value, that's going to have intrinsic value, so it's going to be in the money. If, however, the stock is above the strike, this is now a scenario where there's no intrinsic value, so the option is out of the money. So now you've got the stock at 80 and you've got the strike at maybe 60. So if the stock is at 80 and the strike is at 60, why would I use my put option to sell at 60 when I can just go into the open marketplace and sell at 80? Like that doesn't make any sense. Or maybe the stock is 90 and the strike is 75. Once again, I'm not going to sell at 75 when I could go into the open marketplace and sell at 90. So that's a scenario where you are out of the money. And then of course you have the stock equal to the strike. This is an at the money scenario. You're right on that razor's edge between being in the money or out of the money, and that is going to be an at the money put option. Okay, so let's hop into Tasty Trade and let's take a look at this in real time based on real prices. Okay, so here I am inside of my Tasty Trade platform. I've got Apple pulled up. Let's go to the July cycle with 51 days to go. And remember, I've got my calls on the left, I've got my puts on the right. When it comes to the moneyness of the two sides of the equation, these are going to be my out of the money puts, and these are going to be my out of the money calls. So all the call strikes that are above where the current stock price is are out of the money. All the put strikes that are below where the current price is are going to be out of the money. And then of course, similarly, these are going to be my in the money calls, and these are going to be my my in the money puts. And so looking at the pink or magenta, happy Magenta Monday to you guys, even though it is indeed a Wednesday when I am recording this. If you look at the magenta circles here, you will see that these, of course, are going to be in the money calls. Again, just pick one at random, and hopefully this will make sense to you. If you have a 260 call in Apple, you've got Apple at 310. What does that mean if you own that call? That means that you can buy Apple for 260. Well, Apple's actually worth 310. So that hopefully helps you understand why the option price of that contract is so high, kind of tracing back to the intrinsic value and the extrinsic value that we learned just in the last episode. But these would be in the money call. So my 260 call is clearly in the money because it gives a tremendous amount of immediate value to the long side of the contract. Similarly, if I go to my in the money puts, if I were to look at a 340 put option, if I owned this put option that's selling for about $30, you can see right here, it's about $30 in the money. So it's not quite $30 in the money, almost $30 in the money. So that has immediate value to the long side, to this long put holder. And so hopefully you can see, you can actually, kind of go through a few of these exercises yourself. Just pick a strike, in the pink boxes. These are going to be in the money strikes. They're going to give the long side immediate value. Similarly, if you look at the yellow boxes now, these are going to be my out of the money strikes, right? Like if I look at my out of the money calls, if I do maybe a 320 call, right here you can see, well, Apple's currently selling at 310. If I've got a 320 call, that's not giving me any value right away if I'm the long side of that contract. Now, it might in the future, and there's still 51 days to go until July expiration, and that's a tremendous amount of time, don't get me wrong. But right now, this is not giving the long side any immediate value, so this is going to be out of the money. Similarly, if you look at the put side, if I were to look at maybe a 280 strike put, you're going to see this guy's only selling for a couple of dollars. Well, that's because it's out of the money, right? Remember, out of the money options, that option price is purely extrinsic value. There was no intrinsic value there because this is not giving the long side of the put contract any immediate value. Right? I've got Apple selling at 310. If I owned this put, if I bought this put, I wouldn't sell it at 280. I wouldn't go out of my way to use this option at 280 when I can just go into the open marketplace and sell it for 310. And so when I look at this scenario, these are the out of the money strikes, the call options and the put options. And then lastly, of course, we have our at the money scenario with Apple just a titch over 310. My at the money strike is going to be essentially this 310 strike right here. So this is right where Apple is on the razor's edge of having value and not having value to the long side of the contract. And so when it comes to understanding moneyness, in the money has intrinsic value, out of the money doesn't have intrinsic value, at the money doesn't have intrinsic value either. But man, again, it is just a gentle blow of the wind away from having intrinsic value because it's right on the razor's edge. So that is moneyness, and that is a key, that is a critical feature to understanding the options world, not only strategically, but just conversationally. Like when you start conversing about options and maybe you talk to some other of your friends or family members that are also trading options, or you're online, or you're in groups, or you're inside of, some tasty ecosystems, potentially, in the money, out of the money, at the money. I mean, we use these terms all the time because they describe the status of the option, and depending on which side of the contract you're on and what your strategy is, sometimes you want out of the money, sometimes you want in the money, sometimes you want at the money. And so now understanding how that relates to where the stock currently sits relative to the strike price on the contract, my hope is it now makes sense to you, the distinction between in the money, out of the money, and at the money, because it can only be one of those three. It has to be one of those three at all times. And I'll see you guys in the next episode.